Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me this morning. I am not Mark Sander. Mark Sander was our Chief Executive Officer. He resigned a few weeks ago. We've had a change in leadership, and which comes with that, a change in strategic direction. Mandalay Resources Corporation is a company that was focused on making a transformative acquisition. However, due to a catastrophic inundation that we had about a year ago, the focus has shifted on strengthening our operations, growing our cash flow, paying down our debt, and with a stronger company and a stronger balance sheet, Mandalay will be much more suited to make a much more transformative acquisition down the road. So the strategy has shifted somewhat to strengthening our two producing projects. We have a gold mine in northern Sweden, the Björkdal mine. Björkdal had a very big year last year. We jumped from, when we bought this asset, it was producing about 42,000 ounces. Last year, we did 62,000 ounces, and we see a pathway to getting to about 75,000 ounces at this asset. Our other asset is the Costerfield gold antimony mine in southern Australia, just outside of Melbourne. This is a mine that when we bought it, we had no reserves. We had no production. It was producing maybe about 15,000 ounces of gold equivalent. Through operational improvements, we got that up to about the high 60s. It was predominantly grade driven. We moved into a lower grade ore body. However, we announced a few weeks ago a very high grade discovery, which makes this project very exciting, and we'll get to that in a second. We do have a asset on care and maintenance. That's our Cerro Bio asset. That was the asset that had the inundation almost a year to the date. We can chat about that a bit later. It is on care and maintenance now. The known and expected financial impacts of that have been ring-fenced in our Q2s, and we wrote it down as well. So we are in permitting to get that reopened and looking at all options for that property. So we have four things that we're focused on this year. Number one is delivering. We're a mining company first and foremost, and we need to hit our spots and focus on our core business. We're looking to produce over 100,000 ounces this year, 101 to 113,000 ounces of gold equivalent from our two assets. Right now, our projected cash costs and all-in costs are relatively high. We're aiming to be cash flow positive this year, and with the new focus on driving down costs and finding efficiencies throughout the company, we are very confident that we can bring those costs down throughout the year. We are looking to, as I said, with the increased cash during the year, we are looking to pay down our debt and go after something that is a bit more transformative when our balance sheet is strong enough. On the exploration front, we are looking to grow our reserves and change our exploration focus to be more profitable. At Björkdal, we can drill just about anywhere and find gold, but the difference is finding smarter ounces. We need to find ounces that are higher grade pockets, and we need to find wider areas that result in more profitable mining. And then also to accelerate the exploration at Ewell, which is the discovery at Costerfield that I'll get to as well. As I mentioned earlier, Ewell is a high grade discovery that is the best grades we've found at this site to date. So looking at Björkdal, this is an asset, as I mentioned, we grew the gold production by about 50% since we bought it. This has a 10-year mine life, and it has relatively low mining costs, and we'll be working towards driving those costs down some more this year. We have four areas of focus here. Number one is to, as I mentioned, change the focus of our exploration to focus on more profitable mining. Number two, find efficiencies across the operation. To fund the ore sorting plant, we have completed the pilot testing on an ore sorting plant here that upgrades the stockpiled ore by about 50%. This has a project payback of about 4 years, and we'll be looking to implement that a little bit further down the road. And then the main area of growth here, where we see us getting to that 75,000 ounces, is increasing the capacity of the plant. In November, we were expecting a tailing storage facility upgrade, the permit to upgrade that by about 30%. So that'll take us from about 1.3 million tons a year to 1.7 million tons a year, and we believe that we're doing tests right now to find out what the optimal rate is to process that. Moving over to Costerfield. Costerfield is an asset that we've been operating since 2009. It is largely grade driven, but it's a relatively high grade area. We've produced in several ore bodies. What we've found at Costerfield is underneath the historic workings, if you can find the fault offset, you can generally find the continuation. We've been able to do that several times on the property, and this is no different. As you can see, we have moved over from the historic mining areas in Cuffley, Enload, and Elode, and we moved over to Brunswick. We have now reached ore at Brunswick, and probably the same distance, about 1 kilometer away, we have found Ewell, and Ewell is what is emerging as the next ore body, and it is a much higher grade ore body than Brunswick is. Some of the grades at Ewell, they're a bit small to see, but to our mining width, they dilute to over 10.5 grams of gold equivalent over 1.8 meters. Some of these grades are quite high, looking at 60 grams a ton. Some are 130, some are 120. So we are expecting to put out some more exploration news on this in about 3 weeks, and based on these results and based on the emergence of this ore body, we are accelerating exploration with a goal to get it into reserves by the end of the year. Adding that to reserves will have a significant impact on the mine life of the property, but we are very excited about this discovery, and we hope to keep you updated some more on what's going on there. Our balance sheet is good. We have enough cash to fund our growth and fund our capital projects. Our share price has been beat up in the wake of this flooding event. We have about $44 million in debt, $23.5 million in cash, with the ability to draw another $25 million from a revolver we have through HSBC. The debt's not due until 2022, so we're able to service that debt, and with our growing cash balance, we'll be paying it down. We'll be paying it down throughout the next couple of years. I'll turn it over to questions. However, you can also come see me at booth 65. Yes, sir.
I understand you're a Canadian company with mines in Australia and Sweden. So how did you get the name Mandalay?
Okay, well, that's a funny story, and we had a chairman, an Aussie chairman, and he was a big fan of the Rudyard Kipling poem and then the subsequent song "On the Road to Mandalay," and that was where it came from. He was all, he was not a Seinfeld fan, contrary to popular belief. All right, yeah, I'll be at 65. Anybody has any questions? Thanks.